Hey, what's up, guys? And today I'm going to be talking about a game that I wanted to talk about for a while now, The Outer Worlds. Now, before I get deep into this, review and kind of my overview of this game, uh, make sure to like and subscribe. I know that even though I don't really ask or ever, it's better if I do. I'm kind of just leaving subs on the table, which I don't want to do, you know. If you end up enjoying the video, like, subscribe, you know the drill. But let's get on into it. Now, The Outer Worlds is a game that a lot of people know, but a lot of people don't. Like, I've talked to a lot of my friends who are deep into Fallout and stuff like that, but they haven't heard of this game. Which really surprised me, especially with its extreme hype that it had in 2019, as I had randomly found it on a GameStop shelf, thought it looked interesting, bought it, and here we are. I think this game is a really, really good game. I mean, it's got amazing graphics, its gunplay's amazing, its story's brilliant, the way its characters are written is great, and I think it's just overall fun to play. I think maybe its biggest drawback is that it's maybe a tad too difficult and a tad too short. I beat the game my first time ever fully beating it 100% through in 6 hours and 40 minutes, which sounds super, super short, but I had already gotten to the point you're watching now before, and that time I had gotten to in about 30 hours. Which is closer to the actual amount of time it should take you to get here, even though I was properly leveled for this point in the game, in my opinion. Its difficulty, while enjoyable and very, very challenging, which makes it a lot of fun, is a bit much at times. I find it to where I'm using completely maxed out guns on a not hard difficulty at all. I was playing on a normal, and I was using full mags to get through one person, which is really my only gripe, but it's not even that big of a gripe, because you get ammo for days in this game. Like, it's not that hard to get ammo. That and the money to buy ammo, or really anything, is very plentiful also. So it's less of a gripe, more a enemies can feel like a bullet sponge instead of getting interesting AI, which is what I prefer when it gets up to hard enemies. But that's my only really poor opinion on this game, is enemy AI maybe. That's it. They seem to be bullet sponges and they're kind of plain, but still, other than that, this game is beautiful. I mean, just visually, the way it plays, the way it feels. I mean, there just isn't a game that I play that just looks as good and I can play as smoothly. Like, it's just so good looking. And I can run it at 144 and it looks beautiful while doing so. This game's built to be run at high FPS while doing all of this. It's super cool. It's the first time I've seen a true AAA title like this that's beautiful and is very, very well optimized for high FPS. While I know high FPS isn't really the main focus of games like this, the fact that it isn't hard to get up to 144 on complete max settings, 1080p, is a very, very nice addition. And it shows that even if you're running lower settings, you can run easily playable frame rates. Like, if I was still running a 1060, I would still be able to run this game perfectly fine. No issue, no stutter, no nothing. Good FPS, good graphics. Now, away from the technical side, and now getting into the gameplay side. The gameplay is amazing. While enemies may feel a little bullet spongy, the way that you have to use cover, the way that tactical time dilation, which works kind of like the VAT system, but improved, in my opinion, where you have to actually aim, but it slows everything down. It's just amazing. It makes the gameplay fun. It keeps it fresh. All the fights are interesting and difficult. It makes you feel like when you win a fight, you actually earned that win. And you have to run back to cover. You have got to use cover properly. Whereas in games like Fallout 4, which may have better AI for their enemies, you don't have to use cover or heals nearly as tactically because the enemies just aren't as strong. You can get more overpowered in a game like Fallout than you can in this, which is something that I like. For a change, I don't become this absolutely mass murdering machine that nothing can stand in its way. I become this mass murdering machine that there are things that I cannot, overcome on my own. Like, it is borderline impossible to beat this part of the game without having some sort of companion with high level gear. I found it to where I was like having incredible difficulty with this part of the game, which, even though it aggravated me at first, it made me enjoy it so much more when I finally beat it and got to see the ending. That in this game's ending is beautiful. I'm not going to provide any spoilers or anything. That's why I'm being a little bit vague on my definitions and my explanation of some things. But it's just so I don't give any spoilers to those who do want to play this game after seeing this review. It's got a great ending. It's really simple, but it's a good ending in my opinion. And it's very open-ended. There's a lot that can happen afterwards. And the reason why I like that style of ending over a concrete set ending is it means that I can write my story afterwards better. That means when they lined it up for a 2, which there is going to be a second one of this, it has already been announced. We just don't have a release date yet. It sets it up for a much, much better sequel than, say, the Fallout series does, where it's just essentially individual games with the same premise. And that's something I really like. I really like how I can essentially keep a similar character throughout the whole thing, maybe. It's going to be a really cool concept, because I've never been able to keep, a character the same throughout these style of games. And I find that incredibly, incredibly interesting. Now I'm going to get on to my favorite aspect of this game, and that's the guns. Oh my gosh, the way the guns work is just so buttery smooth. Some people may not like it because it's a little simple. I like it because it's simple. They feel like they've got impact, they've got good recoil, but not a lot. They all have very unique features. Even the very simple auto rifles and ARs, like the heavy AR, which you see me use a lot in this, while simple in design, it's a very cool gun. It's very interesting. It does good damage. It's just I just don't know why. It's so encapsulating to use this very simple weapon that just brings it to life, I guess it's because there's so much customization. English is not my strong suit, people. Customization in this game. If I had time and say I could get this gun outside of this level or previous to it, I could have set it up with electric bullets, with stun bullets, with, weird antimatter like bullets, I can set it up with weird effects with like a reticle, I think, with like bigger mags, faster fire rate, more damage. I mean, there's just so much customization for something that I just wasn't expecting. It's similar to Fallout 4's customized system, but it isn't as in-depth, which I kind of like. I like keeping it simple, but keeping it complex at the same time. giving it super interesting points, but super interesting but super simple ones too. They don't have to all be uber complex, which is why I like this game so much. It keeps things so complex and so just encapsulating, but it can also be so simple and down to earth at the same time. That's why I just love this game. All I can say is IGN 10 out of 10, Woodspace again. Well, I think that should sum up my review of this game pretty well. The only thing I may not have gone in depth enough is tactical time dilation, but that's such a cool game mechanic. I may even make a video on it on its own about it. And well, that's all for now. See you guys in the next one. Peace.